Good morning, welcome. Now let's go in the other direction. I have offered two audio tapes, and the one that is speaking both of these tapes is simply the door to the hourglass. On one side of the hourglass is total consciousness moving into organic life, universes, worlds as we know it. And on the first tape, I explained that only consciousness exists. Now, when you speak about the non-existing, is there any interest, you see? Are you interested in being totally nothing? Because this is the other side of the hourglass. But it's not the nothing that the human mind can comprehend or understand. It is the most indescribable state of beyond life, beyond beingness, beyond every single imagined idea. So I have been given this task of showing you both directions. I'm sitting on the fence, you see, because really the middle state is a state for seeing all of this something world and all of this nothing world. Now we as humans, we're always choosing the something world because mind wants to experience, mind wants to be part of a family, mind wants all these things that we humans absolutely cherish, worship and adore. But when you are projecting yourself into the midst of the hourglass at one side, you can get lost, you see. You can get lost, and therefore the first audio tape describes a way of becoming found. So in that first tape, I'm not encouraging you to experience nothing. I'm showing you the way to become simply a pure human being, because that's what we're here to be, you see. This body and mind decided that it absolutely abhorred this human state and absolutely wanted to transcend all deaths, you see, soul death, human death, consciousness death, to become totally ultimate nothing in its absolute state, you see. Now, like Ramana Maharshi, you don't have to experience your body dying, but there has to be a similar experience of the body going through death where it lies in the coffin for days until breath stops. But it doesn't stop long enough for the body to move into another temporary state and return as another temporary state. To transcend death means you have to remove the idea of being alive. There's nothing you can do. You have to offer yourself to the Absolute, to Brahman. You see, God, the God that we know, is pure consciousness. The God that we know, that we worship in our something state, is the God that projects from the door of the hourglass with you, alongside you, as you, into this human world, organic world of movement. Total stillness is what is on the other side. Stillness with a sense of something and nothing have merged. This is what they call transcending God state. You even go beyond through this imagined, perceived God, yourself, consciousness. This state of Brahman is where you dissolve into the unknown. Therefore, there's nothing that you can tell anyone if you are selected to return to this world. Myself sits in the middle state of neither nothing nor something. There's no need to remain in this nothing world. There's nothing to do. People look at you and can't even see you. You have disappeared. You don't know even who you are yourself. You are reminded that people with no choice of reaching this stateless state. When you see Alzheimer's and dementia, and you realize that they also are maybe this nothing, living through a something body. And when mind slowly resurfaces and returns, it is quite evident that your family preferred you as the person that you were before. So you have to negotiate with this mind state. And this is where choice comes, you see. Choice is not yours. The choice is taken out of your hands. Because as pure consciousness, whatever comes is coming on its own. So you return to being pure consciousness and let life take you wherever life wants you to go, be, say, do, or become. So the speaker speaks in the middle state, sometimes as whole, sometimes as I am. The middle state, I am. And sometimes, more frequently than often, from the mind, that I am a person, I am an organizer, I have a way to do it state. So these videos that are made are simply ramblings, utterings, confused ways that may attract some listeners to become the pure human that they are meant to be. This middle state is the place where we all, as humans, should be looking from, because we accept everything in this state, the nothing and the something. Now these two audios are optional, and here's why. Part 2. You have the fortune of being here in a human body. And through this human body, the only body, you can't do it if you're a snake or an ant, the only body that has the ability to experience total Brahman, total suffering, and neither. The first audio pointing you in the direction to be neither, from the suffering. Or if you're watching as neither, to show you that this Brahman state is not something you want to experience. It is simply a way of pointing you in the right direction when your body naturally passes. Because the only thing you really, as a human body conscious state, get from offering yourself to the Absolute, which is a death, a transcendence, saying, please accept all my states, my body, my mind, my soul, my consciousness, and take me home to where I originally came from. Brahman, whole. This is not a simple take my body and I'll hope for the best. This is a total surrendering, a giving up. Now what is the benefit, you see? 7 years of bliss and total unknowing. Total blurbing, foolishness, fun, happiness, crying, tears, beautiful, every moment. And sometimes the states that you have lived with through maybe your past lives are being overcome and seen through. So it's a totally downward spiral, totally de-hypnosis, totally removal of all beliefs, systems, hopes, identities, names, totally a need to die. So what would bring someone to this need, this desire? It is not the desire of the someone. It is the desire of Brahman to say, if you want to come home, your time is up and you are welcome, and I'm showing you how to go home when your body naturally passes. The state of death has been overcome, transcended, and the proper way is if and only if your body gets a warning of death, is to simply accept it fully, accept it with no desires of attaching to anything, including your beloved, devoted family. Because the Brahman state is where all arise from. Nothing is nothing in your human mind, but nothing in Brahman state is everything, out with your human mind. That is why it is called the unknown, because to speak about it as a human is a simple, foolish, ignorant task. Part 3. There is no one that exists. There is only one that exists. You see, in the middle state, you realize that the reflection from this state is everything is seen two-way, but from a non-dual perspective. Non-duality is when you have experienced your whole nothing, something states, and you have witnessed them merging. The resurfacing from the total nothing is a lesson on how to be grounded from both directions. You understand this? You're returning from nothing to pure content middle, and you're returning from something because you have still your body and your mind to pure contentment middle. So you see totally from both directions because you never forget that you're nothing. and you never forget that you're a temporary something. You're a permanent nothing experiencing temporary somethings. So before I am in the middle is simply the one, the whole, total, undiluted, omnipotent, omnipresent love. And as it diminishes into this end of the hourglass in this nothing world, this love also diminishes into pure Brahman state of beyond. Beyond has no description. It has no meaning. It has no beginning. It has no end. It is simply an stretching of transcendental space. And you become that with no mind. This beyond appears to be a parallel world of beyond. And this beyond is absolute. The purest nothing state beyond all space. Beyond light, beyond black. Beyond words, emotions, senses, feelings, experiences. The greatest knowing, the greatest total greatest knowing is to know that you don't know. So again, I am not totally, see, I am using I am. I am not totally out of this nothing state, but I cannot now speak truly about this nothing state. To speak truly about the nothing state is to remain totally silent, and your eyes speak for you. I uploaded 300 videos whilst resurfacing from this nothing state. I quickly deleted them because they serve no purpose. They were simply a confirmation, a reflection, because you have no one to resurface with. Your Sadguru has been taking you in every single direction. But when you return, when you resurface, reground, reemerge, the Sadguru then falls into the distance. It has done its job. You see, it has served its purpose. Holy Spirit and God has given birth to itself again. Because another one will always speak highly of this whole religious Holy Spirit, God, Brahman, Absolute, Shiva, Krishna, Ramana. Everyone is seen has reborn and is here in this whole, you see, in this whole. We are all whole. As a human, we are totally broken, totally segmented, totally separate. Even the minds are separating. Even the body appears to be speaking about as a separate entity made up of separate entities. We have used words and everything to break things up, because whole is everything incorporated, and you don't need to break things up. The minute you break things up, you see separation, and you'll see war and suffering. Part 4. When you look from the middle state back into your nothing whole, you can drop in like you drop in on your neighbor. You can drop in any time. You can look from the window and reminisce at the beauty, at the splendor of this nothing world. But there's nothing to see. You can only be it. But you can also look at the world, and through a great system the humans call memory, things come back and you see it as it is. Suffering. People trying. But you see beyond the body, beyond the mind. You see the whole in every single thing. Everything is the same. Everything is the same. To understand these words, you have to understand totally yourself. Totally your mind, totally your body, and totally your subtle soul and spiritual bodies. You have to meet them and merge with them. Can you merge with mind? Can you merge with body? And can you merge with all other spiritual bodies? Who is merging, you see? You are not emerging. You are removing. You see? The minute you try and merge with something that already is there is a whole problem. You understand this? When you think the spirit body, the soul body, the mind, and the human body are separate bodies, which is part of awakening, so you go backwards to become forward again. Non-duality. Many humans say, I know I'm non-dual. I am this mind, I am this body, I am my spirit, I am my soul. And you say, and are you your world? No, that the world is obviously something totally separate. I'm visiting this world, So there's two, you see, you and the world. But you are still speaking from a Brahman state of being whole, but whole in a singular body self state. So you actually have to become dual and remove everything to its total segmented state. And removing everything to its total segmented state says, I don't accept. I'm not attached. I am not associating. I am not desiring. I am not wanting. I am not this body. And this is the Ramana way of understanding why you lie down to die. Because this information does not come before you lie down to die. This information comes because you have been given a beautiful ticket to return to a human world as a pure conscious being, with an offering of ways to reach pure consciousness, and not Brahman. But to understand pure consciousness, you have to experience being nothing. The only way a human can experience being nothing is to remove everything. Remove the body, remove the identity, remove the body. And this is all thought-based stuff. It's ideas that brings separation, you see. I have an idea. My idea is better than yours. Instant separation. You have compared and you have decided that you over there, me over here, let's do ideas together. Let's see whose is best. Instant separation. The idea of being what the information and all the stuff that we have conditioned our bodies into accepting is the idea of being broken. Well, sorry, the idea of thinking we are whole. So to experience being whole, you have to remove all ideas, names, everything. Who can do that? Very simple. Remove I. Remove I am. Experience I am. You see? Oh, make up your mind. There are two I's and two of everything to understand the way of being. I is the pure I. When it is spoken from the heart and there is no story to it, it is Brahman. I. There is also another I. If it's spoken from the head and you're pointing and referring to yourself, it's the fake I, the ego I. When you use the words I am, your pure consciousness being, when you're projecting it inwards through your heart. When you use the words I am in your head, thinking it's about me, myself, it's a fake I am. And when the words are attached to the I and the I am in any direction, it is totally head. I am a person, my name is Graham, I am doing this, I am doing that. The separation, you see, there's a pause between every single breath. I am Graham, I am a person. I am living in this country, I am white, I am male, I am a person who wants to do things. I am a person who wants to do things and I'm going to do them tomorrow and I'm going to follow them in 3 years' time and I'm going to continue with this. And you are totally out of the present moment. And the present moment is pure conscious being. in the I am state. Only I am. So you can experience being pure conscious just using the words I am. In your heart, projecting to your root or to your core, your hara, or to your shoulders, or to anywhere but not your head. Separation comes from the head. Wholeness comes from the heart. On your return, or just before your return, you see, you're not there, you see. So to try and recollect, you can only recollect the revelational moments. And the final moment of reaching total transcendental life and the continual offering of I still surrender, I still surrender, surrender, surrender. The final surrendering is for everyone a different way of saying enough's enough. And as I mentioned in a video made about trying to remember or relive the experience, a voice came. A voice. A universal voice that came from every single plant, tree, within, out with, and you realize that you're not this outside body at this moment, and you realize that you're not an inside body, and that you are totally bodiless. And the bodiless cannot live as a body. So this enough voice said, one moment. All that exists is one whole moment. Brahman, the whole state of nothing. Life, the whole state of something. And an encompassing whole which brings nothing and something together is one moment in the here and now. When these words are heard, the information is beyond what any human mind can cope with. So there's a 5-year where the information is being sifted. It comes in one moment, you see. The information comes in that one moment. But because of a human state, a human mind, and the inability to accept the whole of humanity and beyond, and what we call afterlife and all this stuff, and reason and purpose, and the answers that science and theorists look for every day, is offered in one moment. That's how fantastic consciousness is. We have to type out a book which may take 5 days, and it can offer the whole of every single intelligence, beyond intelligence, non-intelligence, every experience, action, ways, means, methods in 1 second. Because one moment, in its dualistic meaning, is a moment in time. But one moment is not a moment in time. It is an infinite state where nothing and something merge. It is the pure conscious state that brings Brahman and its something world, the organic world, together. Brahman can live on its own. Humans can live on their own and simply die with no communication, emotions and essences. They are like animals, you see. Consciousness is giving us the way to understand what it is able to do. It is able to bring your true state as a nothing, pure, absolute, and experience a whole human animalistic state and bring them together and say, look what I can show you. I can show you the whole. I can show you the whole of what is in one moment. The lessons on returning after this final stopping point to remove all of what I am and what I've been and what I could be and transcend totally into Brahman state. This one moment turns you around. Francis Assisi calls it, when I opened the door, I was looking from the other side. This voice, you don't question this voice. This voice could be in your imagined world a self, a God, a Holy Spirit, a universal voice. But it's the voice that puts you back. Because there's work to do, you see. You have seen this nothing world that is beckoning you. But you have things to tidy up. And the lessons are shown in a journey from looking from a place that is neither nothing, something, or pure consciousness. You are looking from a state that only will be experienced once. A learning place where something sits within you and reveals what you're going back to and why it's in the way it is. You realize that everything is an idea. As humans, we don't exist. As universes, we don't exist. As any living form or formless space, we don't exist. But the idea of it being here is the greatest idea of all our minor ideas that have subsequently followed. And it's the minor ideas that have to be overcome. Why seek the unknown? Why not seek the known? But also the known is not seekable. As your mind tells you, can your mind learn everything? Because the minute you want to learn everything, How many bodies is this going to take you? How many more ideas of recreating your own self to try and establish the total known? There is no way, no purpose, no method, no functional thing to achieve or aim for. There is simply a mirage, an illusion. And something says through mind, I have an idea, mind says. I'm going to build a human so mind can experience it. You're not who you think you are. You'll never be anything other than whole. But when you have experienced whole, you will become something. And this something is no more bodies, no more ideas, no more concepts, no more needs, no more desires, no more life, no more death, no more birth, but home. You return as Brahman. You merge with Absolute. No more what is. No more one moment. The one moment will exist, but out with all ideas, concepts, thoughts, imagines, fantasies. This is a fantasy. It's an imagined event. One of the greatest learnings is you don't think anything serious. But you don't take anything unserious. You don't go down a path, because the path will take you to an early nothing state or a suffering something state. You stay in the fence. You witnessing. You become the witnessing. There is only one witness, and the witness is life. Life is not a form or a thing or a god or some thing that stores information. The experience, the witnessing, is the witness. The essence between holding everything together is consciousness, the whole, Brahman, and the need to have forms and space to see it. So when you're looking for your God, it is in everything. It is not everything. It is the thing that holds everything together. It is the essence, the sweetness. It is the fragrance of the flower. It is the fragrance of, and when you say the fragrance of the flower, it's not the scent. It's the visual, the sound, all the senses together as one sense. The essence, the E-sense. Many learnings are seen about this new non-duality state, the Upanishads, the Vedantas, the Bhagavad Gita, all information engulfed in you, and you've never read a book. That's how colossal this one moment, seen as pure consciousness and beyond, is. That is how majestic this whole is. If you take everything, every single thing, and every single nothing, every single space, everything everything and merge it together. You'll have two balls, because the mirror of the hourglass always shines in the middle, both ways. A two-way light. Two balls. One, a whole lot of crap, a whole lot of suffering, a whole lot of killing, a whole lot of war, a whole lot of anger, pain, illness, and disease. And another ball, a whole lot of love, a whole lot of tranquil peace, being, and emptiness. Which ball exists, and which one is a reflection? That's all you need to know. Your mind is the whole ball, but it's broken up into two. When it sees the black ball, it experiences the black ball. It becomes the black ball. When it sees the pure ball, the white ball, the loving ball, it only experiences the loving ball. It becomes the loving ball. How to do it? Some words in the first audio tape may help, but it's as simple as this. You ignore everything, like the sage, even the loving ball, because dark can become light, and light can become dark, and if you're not looking, observing properly, you won't see them changing color. You understand this? Be aware, be focused. Sit on the fence. Don't take sides. Don't judge. Don't prefer. Don't analyze. Don't value. Mind says impossible. Brahman says it's only way. The only way to remain as a human until your time is up. But while I'm here, while I appear to exist as whatever I am, there has to be a recognition. There has to be the true recognition of what you are. Before one can leave this existence and return to this home. So who am I? What am I? Let's start by saying what I am not. And the circle is a clue. I am not Brahman. I am not God. I am not Holy Spirit. I am not consciousness. I am not soul. I am not body. I am not human. I am not a name, nor am I any state or stateless state. So what am I? I am them all as one whole. You see? To say you are one particular thing, one particular word, one particular emotion, one particular sense, one particular idea, one particular thought, you become false. You become singular. You become something that has to go in a direction to become whole. So when you know that what you are is simply whole, you don't have to make a movement. You don't have to look anywhere to find reality. Mind comes in every now and then and breaks you up. And this is done willingly to experience the human state, to experience the soul state, to experience the something state, to experience the nothing state, to experience consciousness in its purity, and to experience every single state that comes with this human body and this soul body. Exactly the same body, looking in different directions. Anger cannot not come. Happiness cannot not come. But when you try and seek a state, a particular preferred one, you're going to suffer. And when you try and get rid of a state, a particular preferred one, you're going to suffer. Nothing can touch what I am. Reality is the knowing that the unknown and the known are the same thing. Everything is the same. Everything is as it is. I am everything, yet I am nothing. Speakers like Ramana Maharshi and Sri Nisargadatta Maharaj, they speak always looking inward. Doesn't matter which direction their eyes are looking. They're not looking at a particular thing in this external world. They're always looking inward. They were chosen by consciousness to stay in this inward looking so that we can be influenced by this beauty of a simplistic life. To look inward means you don't need anything. You don't need anything except food and water. Everything else comes on its own. And in fact, even the food and water is there. And you don't even have to look. Because no one will see another starving. Christ's message of feeding the 5,000 has been installed in every single human being. We all want to feed another. That's what we do. That's what we're specialized in. We're not an animal. We don't keep it all for ourselves. We want ourselves to realize ourselves. And we know it takes others longer this whole thing, have been chosen to look around at both sides of the hourglass, to worship the internal nothing world, and to worship the external human world, but never be drawn again into either forever. No human being, even Christ, Ramana, Buddha, cannot experience pain, pleasure, and all the states that we accepted when we came in to the human body. But there's not a we that accepts, you see. There is no human. The lesson of going and becoming grounded and returning to mind is nothing exists and something exists. Neither is important, and both are imperative, equally as one. Whatever you think you are, you will become. Whatever you don't think you are, you will not become. So, to inquire, to find out what you truly are and what you're truly not, we have to take action. We have to lie down and offer ourselves, saying, doesn't matter what I do as a human or anything, I simply give up. I don't feel as though I am just in trying to reflect a mind, an ego mind that is totally driven by itself, the mind of greed, power, status, comparisons, preferences, judgment, analysis. None of us escape this mind. This mind is offered so that we can make comparisons. I don't like it, you see. That's what this body said. I'm prepared to give up this body and this life. So maybe another can find peace, happiness, tranquility, freedom, emptiness, of which we were guaranteed. And then on the return journey back to this human state, you realize you were always free, empty, tranquil, peace, and your world was total love. It's just that mind told another story to pacify itself. The state of Brahman is the state of no life. Who wants to visit it? No one. The surrendering to this Brahman state, giving up all bodies, soul, spirit, human, all states, was not chosen by this one. Brahman is like a magnet. The magnet has to come first. The iron has to come second. And the iron cannot walk into the magnet. The magnet must pull it in. Brahman, myself, the whole, nothing and something, conscious, human, soul, spirit, world, called me home. The greatest lesson on this return journey back was from my beloved Christ. It became apparently clear that Christ was simply another illusion, another imagined body, like we all are. And Christ and bodies are not the way. They're not the way. The words are the way. Christ, this Spirit, came within and said, "Stop following my body. Stop them following my death, my healing, my stories, my parables. Let them read and enjoy and learn. But if they want to find my truth, tell them to take the words. Through me, through I, this personal thing in your core of your being that you point to, your heart, when you say me, I want. Through me, I am. You see, through me, I am. The middle state of consciousness is where Christ dwells. We are Christ. We are the essence of this Christ, which is really a Holy Spirit and not a form. Through me, I am. Christ's name is the way. Is the way. I, the maple. S, the ribbons, the consciousness. I, Brahman, still, towering, nothing, in its perfect nothing state. And S, consciousness, moving, swirling, dancing, always alive, always entangled, always free, always twisting, turning, doing, always looking, seeking through the wind of itself. Something attaches the ribbons, the consciousness, to this something world. The ribbons are the something world, the movement, time, effort, energy, vibration, love, offering, giving, taking. And this still I, this towering one whole. You see, I is one, it's whole. What attaches the ribbon? What gave this something world life? And what worships this nothing world that could not be here without something? A tree grows from a seed. Where did the seed come from? Did it magically just appear? It started this seed from nothing, from simple, in a scientific way, air, oxygen. Found itself grouping and gathering and falling into the earth. The clue is the whole of Brahman that lies not at the nothing state, but is the whole hourglass, gave birth to itself. It gave birth to its something self, its female self, its moving self. Consciousness and this human side is love, is a feminine place. But it cannot be here without male, without stability, without this penis towering Brahman eye. The other side, the nothing side, the stable side, is the man. The something side, the moving side, the beautiful, unconditional, loving side, the female. But to say you're male and to say you're female creates separation. So when you're whole, you're neither male nor female, just like you're neither human nor soul. You are whole, and this whole Brahman hourglass created itself. And how was it done? It's very simple. It loves itself. It wanted to experience itself. It had to appear as opposing states so that we can make comparisons and then we can follow the goodness when the badness appears. I don't want to be bad, we say. I always wanted to be good. But life got in the way. Life did not get in the way. Life is the way. Mind got in the way. A devilish, singular, me world got in the way. I want, I desire, I need got in the way. The clue for consciousness to do it, or Brahman to do it, through its own consciousness, the middle state, to express itself as nothing and something, gave birth to itself. Its own penis, its own vagina. Consciousness and I, and this one moment, that's all it takes. The minute you make love and you both orgasm, there's no mind. There is simply a nirvana state of bliss. This is what nothing is. This is the world of Brahman when you become whole. But it's not intense. It's simply flat and transcending and never ending. Beautiful, still, silent love. The Sistine Chapel shows God is Brahman and the man is human. The fingers touch. It doesn't say female and God. It is simply life. Brahman, no life. Male, life. Problem is Michelangelo couldn't paint a form that was neither male nor female. The fingers meeting is the moment life took birth as nothing and something. Overcome something, overcome nothing. See through me, and I am Christ, Holy Spirit, Buddha, Shiva, Krishna, whoever it is you see before you. Is the totality of is the maple and the ribbons entwined and joined together, so that the maple is not visible, the ribbons are not visible, but something is there for nothing to be seen. But the essence of Christ is the way. So to conclude, the journey has been two ways from the door, from the hourglass center. Audio 1, looking from consciousness, pure state, into the world of human organic life, where something and nothing appear and disappear. To look the other way, into this nothing, Brahman, pure, infinite, nothing side, something appears. No thing can visit no thing and return as no thing. But there can be an experience of being no thing, visiting no thing, and returning as no thing. But it's only an experience until you're totally home. Home means no more in this cascading world of life, movement, sleep, wakefulness. Home can only be what whole means. You shine like the whole universe. You shine like the whole cosmos. You shine in every plant, every being, every single particle of dust, water, fire. You shine. But you are not something that shines. You are the shining. You are the creator and the prolonger and the feeder of what remains behind. All these saints, Ramana, Christ, are simply shining their light. They are the light, you see. There's no Ramana in a loincloth, Christ in sandals and smock and beard, and Buddha in bald head, sitting under the bonsai tree. They have merged to become the most purest of lights. And this light feeds and keeps us all alive and here as whatever you think you are, or believe you are, or hope you are, or want to be, or know you are, or don't know you are. My job, Part 7, Part 8. My job is simply to be here, to be here. And whenever I am here, I have not planned to be here. And whenever I am not here, I have not planned to be not here. Life is dictating, and I am life. I am also death, I am birth, but again, I'm neither. The minute you go through life, taking the positive as negative and the negative as positive, and looking at them both from the point of pure being, positive and negative merge and disappear, and you see positivity and negativity are also just thoughts. Nothing world and something world, also just thoughts. Brahman state, thoughts. Human state, thoughts. Mind is the thinker of all the thoughts. Mind is the reflective whole. The reflective whole. The true whole is silence. But you see, it's not really silence, because when you put a word to this true whole, you diminish it and you separate it. Even whole, allness, totality blasphemizes it. Don't speak, don't think, don't imagine, don't fantasize about what the whole is, because there's two. There's you trying to understand what you are. As humans, we go through our life every day trying to understand what we are. Stop trying to understand what you are and be what you are. Wordless. And whole. Love. Your name, I am that. What is? I am that. What is not? So therefore, I am that. I am. Namaste. Om. Thank you for listening. And whatever you are, whoever you are, wherever you are, be kind. And nothing else. Om. Shanti. Shanti. Shanti.